The origins of Homo sapiens, our species, date back to approximately 300,000 years ago, in Africa, where the earliest fossils of anatomically modern humans have been discovered. These early humans, who were our direct ancestors, shared Africa with other hominins, such as Neanderthals and Denisovans. The journey of Homo sapiens is marked by significant developments, including the advent of tools, the use of fire, and the emergence of complex language, which played crucial roles in their survival and adaptation. Genetic studies show that all modern humans can trace their ancestry back to a common population that lived in Africa, highlighting the importance of this continent in our evolutionary history. As Homo sapiens began to migrate out of Africa, around 60 to 70,000 years ago, they spread across the globe, adapting to various environments, climates, and cultures, which led to a rich diversity of human societies. Fossil evidence, along with archaeological findings, suggests that these early humans developed a range of tools to hunt, gather, and process food, which improved their chances of survival. One fascinating aspect of Homo sapiens is the way they interacted with other hominin species. For instance, when they encountered Neanderthals in Europe and Asia, there is evidence of interbreeding, which has contributed to the genetic makeup of many modern humans today. This blending of genes illustrates not only the complexity of human ancestry, but also the adaptability of our species in the face of changing environments and challenges. Moreover, the development of symbolic thought and art marks a significant milestone in the evolution of Homo sapiens. Cave paintings, carvings, and personal ornaments indicate that early humans possessed not only cognitive abilities, but also a sense of aesthetics and spirituality. These expressions of creativity suggest that they had a rich social life and a deep connection to their surroundings. As Homo sapiens continued to evolve, they became skilled at creating sophisticated tools and building shelters, which allowed them to thrive in various climates, from the icy tundras to the arid deserts. The social structures of early human groups also played a crucial role in their success. By cooperating in hunting and gathering, sharing resources, and forming bonds within communities, Homo sapiens were able to enhance their survival rates. This cooperative behavior might have laid the foundation for the complex societies that would later emerge, leading to the development of agriculture, trade, and eventually, civilizations. As we explore the origins of Homo sapiens, bipedalism, the ability to walk on two legs, is one of the most significant features that set humans apart from many other species. This remarkable adaptation has a fascinating evolutionary history, which began millions of years ago, when our ancestors were still living in trees, swinging from branch to branch. The shift to walking on two legs is believed to have occurred around 6 to 7 million years ago, as our ancestors faced changing environments in Africa. As forests shrank and open savannas expanded, those who could walk upright had a distinct advantage, as bipedalism allowed them to cover larger distances in search of food and water, while also freeing their hands to carry objects, use tools, and care for their young. One of the earliest known hominins to exhibit bipedal traits is Sahelanthropus tchadensis, which lived about 7 million years ago. Fossils of this species suggest a combination of ape-like and human-like characteristics, including a skull that indicates an upright posture. Following this, Australopithecus, particularly Australopithecus afarensis, known for the famous fossil Lucy, shows clear evidence of bipedalism, with the pelvis and leg bones adapted for walking, yet still retains some climbing abilities. This dual adaptation indicates that bipedalism was not an overnight change, but rather a gradual process influenced by various environmental and social factors. As our ancestors continue to evolve, their bodies adapted further to support this upright posture, leading to changes in the structure of the pelvis, spine, and legs. The shaped curve of the human spine, for instance, helps to balance the body over the legs, which contrasts with the straight spines of our ape relatives. Additionally, the alignment of the knees and feet has evolved to provide better support for walking and running, which was essential for survival in the open savanna. This development likely played a crucial role in the rise of Homo erectus, who not only walked upright, but also became proficient hunters and gatherers, showcasing the advantages of bipedalism. The ability to move efficiently on two legs also had social implications. Bipedalism may have facilitated communication and social bonding among early human groups, as it allowed for more visible gestures and expressions while moving together. Furthermore, walking on two legs helped our ancestors to adapt to new environments, hunt more effectively, and gather resources, which contributed to the development of complex societies. As they migrated out of Africa, the ability to walk, the development of tool use, marks a significant milestone in the history of human evolution, showcasing our species' remarkable ability to adapt and innovate. Early hominins, like our ancestors, began using simple tools, such as stones and sticks, over 2 million years ago. Archaeological findings suggest that these early tools were not only used for cutting and processing food, but also for hunting and defense, which indicates a growing understanding of cause and effect, as well as the environment around them. As time passed, these primitive tools evolved, leading to more sophisticated designs, such as hand axes and spears, which allowed early humans to exploit a wider range of resources. The discovery of fire, around 1 million years ago, further propelled the development of tool use, as it opened up new possibilities for cooking, which enhanced nutrition and health, allowing for better brain development. This connection between tool use and cognitive evolution is fascinating, as improved tools for cooking, such as pots and eventually metal utensils, became integral in creating a more stable food supply, which in turn supported larger communities. As societies progressed, so did the complexity of tools. The invention of the wheel around 3500 BC revolutionized transportation and trade, enabling civilizations to flourish. This advancement highlights not just the physical creation of tools, but also the social and economic implications, as communities began to specialize in different trades, fostering collaboration and innovation. In ancient times, tool use was not limited to physical tools. The development of mathematics and writing can also be seen as tools for communication and problem-solving. The abacus, for example, served as a counting tool that laid the groundwork for modern arithmetic. These intellectual tools allowed for more complex societies and the administration of larger populations, facilitating advancements in governance, architecture, and science. Fast forward to the present day, and we see how technology has taken tool use to a whole new level. The digital age has introduced tools that were unimaginable just a few decades ago, such as computers and smartphones, which have transformed not only how we communicate, but also how we work and learn. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and 3D printing are just a few examples of modern tools that have the potential to reshape industries and our daily lives. Moreover, the impact of tool use extends beyond functionality. It also raises ethical and philosophical questions about our relationship with technology. Are we becoming overly reliant on our tools? What does it mean for our cognitive abilities when we rely on GPS for navigation instead of memorizing? The impact of climate change on early humans is a fascinating topic that reveals how our ancestors adapted to a constantly changing environment. Around 2 million years ago, during the Pleistocene epoch, the Earth experienced significant climatic fluctuations, including ice ages and warmer interglacial periods. These changes affected the habitats where early humans lived, forcing them to migrate, develop new tools, and alter their diets. As glaciers expanded, they blocked migration routes, creating isolated populations, while during warmer periods, environments like grasslands and forests flourished, providing new resources for survival. One significant effect of climate change was the alteration of food sources. As temperatures fluctuated, the availability of certain plants and animals changed dramatically. Early humans, who were primarily hunter-gatherers, had to adapt their hunting strategies and foraging techniques to find food. For example, during colder periods, large mammals, such as mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses, thrived in the tundra, leading humans to develop specialized hunting techniques and social structures to hunt these larger animals effectively. Conversely, in warmer times, smaller game and edible plants became more abundant, prompting a shift in diet and lifestyle. Moreover, these climatic shifts influenced the development of early human societies. As groups migrated in search of resources, they encountered other communities, which facilitated the exchange of ideas and technologies. This exchange was crucial for the development of early tools, such as the hand axe, and social structures, as humans learned to cooperate for successful hunting and gathering. Additionally, the variability in climate likely pushed early humans towards sedentism, eventually leading to agriculture. As certain regions became more stable and predictable, the domestication of plants and animals began, setting the stage for the rise of complex societies. The relationship between climate change and human evolution is also evident in the development of physical traits. As environments changed, humans adapted not just behaviorally, but also biologically. For instance, as groups encountered different climates, variations in skin color and body shape emerged in response to environmental pressures, such as sunlight exposure and temperature. These adaptations helped early humans thrive in diverse environments, showcasing their resilience and ingenuity. Furthermore, early humans' responses to climate change were not uniform. Different groups adapted in various ways based on their specific circumstances, which included local resources, social structures, and environmental challenges. Some populations may have faced more severe impacts than others, leading to differing survival rates and cultural developments. This diversity in adaptation highlights the complexity of human evolution and the myriad factors that influenced our ancestral. In prehistoric societies, social structures were often complex and varied greatly between different groups, influenced by environmental conditions, resource availability, and cultural practices. Researchers believe that early human communities were typically organized into small bands or tribes, usually consisting of extended families, which provided support and security. These groups often relied on cooperation for hunting, gathering, and sharing resources, leading to a sense of interdependence among members. As populations grew, some groups began to form more defined social hierarchies. The emergence of leadership roles, often filled by the most experienced or skilled individuals, helped in decision-making processes, especially during times of conflict or resource scarcity. Archaeological evidence suggests that some prehistoric societies developed specialized roles based on skills or tasks, leading to divisions of labor. For instance, while some members focused on hunting or foraging, others might have been tasked with tool-making, child-rearing, or gathering plants. This specialization likely increased efficiency and allowed communities to thrive in various environments. Moreover, as these groups settled down and began to practice agriculture, the social structures became even more intricate, with the establishment of permanent settlements leading to more complex interactions among various tribes. Trade networks began to emerge, connecting different groups and facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices. These interactions could have fostered the development of social status, as certain individuals or families became known for their wealth or access to valuable resources, altering the dynamics within and between societies. Moreover, the role of women in these societies varied, but in many cases, they held significant power in decision-making and resource management, particularly in agricultural communities where they often managed food production and storage. Rituals and spiritual beliefs played a vital part in reinforcing social bonds, and communal gatherings for ceremonies or celebrations were essential for maintaining group identity and cohesion. These events likely served as opportunities to establish and reinforce social ties, while also allowing for the sharing of knowledge and cultural practices. In conclusion, social structures in prehistoric societies were not static, but rather fluid and influenced by shifting circumstances, demonstrating the adaptability and resilience of early human communities in facing the challenges of their time. Language acquisition in early Homo is a fascinating topic, that delves into how our ancestors may have developed the ability to communicate through complex language. While we do not have direct evidence of the exact nature of their communication, researchers have pieced together clues from archaeology, anthropology, and studies of modern human languages. The earliest members of the Homo genus, like Homo habilis and Homo erectus, lived millions of years ago, and it is believed that their social structures, alongside their cognitive abilities, played a significant role in the development of language. As these early hominins began to form more complex social groups, the need for effective communication became crucial. The emergence of tools and hunting strategies, which required coordination and cooperation among group members, likely drove the evolution of more sophisticated forms of communication. Some scientists propose that as social interactions became more intricate, early Homo might have developed proto-languages, which were simplified systems of sounds and gestures that conveyed basic ideas and emotions. The physical evolution of the vocal tract in early Homo is also noteworthy. Changes in the shape of the skull and the position of the larynx allowed for a wider range of sounds to be produced. This anatomical change is thought to be a key factor in the ability to form the sounds necessary for a spoken language. Furthermore, the development of larger brains in Homo species, particularly with the emergence of Homo sapiens, likely contributed to enhanced cognitive capabilities, enabling more abstract thought and the ability to understand complex concepts which are essential for advanced language use. Interestingly, studies of modern hunter-gatherer societies provide insights into how early Homo might have communicated. These societies often rely on a rich tapestry of verbal and nonverbal communication, using gestures, facial expressions, and vocalizations to convey meaning. This suggests that early forms of communication may have been multimodal, combining sounds with physical signals to express ideas and feelings. Moreover, the role of culture in language acquisition cannot be overstated. As early Homo engaged in cultural practices, such as sharing knowledge about tool-making or foraging techniques, they likely developed specific vocabulary and narratives that became integral to their social identity. This cultural transmission would have reinforced the use of language within groups, enabling them to pass down important information from one generation to the next, thus solidifying the foundation for more complex languages to emerge over time. The transition from these early forms of communication to fully developed languages, like those we use today, is still a subject of ongoing research and debate. Linguists, dietary changes have played a significant role in the evolution of humans, shaping not only our biological traits, but also our social structures and cultures. It is fascinating to consider how the shift from a primarily hunter-gatherer lifestyle to one that includes agriculture and later industrialized food systems has influenced our bodies and behaviors. For instance, the introduction of farming around 10,000 years ago marked a dramatic change in human diets, as people began to cultivate crops like wheat, rice, and maize, which provided a more stable food supply than the unpredictable nature of foraging. This shift enabled populations to grow as communities settled in one place, leading to the development of cities and complex societies. Interestingly, as humans adapted to these new diets, our bodies underwent changes as well. One prominent example is the ability to digest lactose, the sugar found in milk. In populations that raised dairy animals, a genetic mutation allowed some adults to continue producing lactase, the enzyme needed to break down lactose. This adaptation is a clear illustration of natural selection at work, as those who could digest milk had a nutritional advantage, especially in environments where other food sources were scarce. Furthermore, the way we process carbohydrates has also evolved. With the rise of agriculture, diets became richer in starches, which led to changes in our digestive systems. Studies suggest that populations that consumed more starchy foods developed more efficient amylase enzymes, which help break down these carbohydrates. This adaptation showcases how our diets have not only influenced our physical forms, but have also impacted our overall health and susceptibility to certain diseases. As we moved into the industrial era, The introduction of processed foods brought about another significant dietary shift. With the rise of convenience foods, our diets became higher in sugars and unhealthy fats, leading to a range of health issues, including obesity and diabetes. This transition highlights the ongoing relationship between diet and human health, as our bodies struggle to adapt to these rapid changes. Moreover, the globalization of food has led to a blending of diets, exposing people to various foods and cooking methods. This exchange can be beneficial, as it promotes diversity in nutrition, but it can also lead to the homogenization of diets, where traditional eating practices are replaced by processed and fast foods. The impact of these dietary changes on global health is a growing concern, as we see rising rates of non-communicable diseases linked to poor dietary choices. Additionally, environmental factors have influenced dietary patterns, as climate change affects food production. As certain crops, migration patterns of early humans are a fascinating topic that reveals much about our ancestors' adaptability and survival strategies. Starting around 2 million years ago, early human species began to migrate out of Africa, driven by various factors such as climate change, the search for food, and the need for new resources. The first major wave of migration, which involved Homo erectus, took them across the Middle East, into Asia, and eventually up to Europe. This migration was not a straightforward journey. It involved navigating through diverse landscapes, including deserts, mountains, and forests, which required innovative tools and social cooperation to overcome challenges. As climate conditions fluctuated, early humans adapted their lifestyles to suit their environments. For example, during periods of glacial maximum, when much of the northern hemisphere was covered in ice, human populations were forced to retreat to warmer regions, such as southern Europe or Africa. Conversely, during warmer interglacial periods, they migrated northward, following the retreating ice sheets and taking advantage of the newly available resources. Evidence from archaeological sites suggests that these migrations were not uniform, as they varied greatly in timing and routes, influenced by geographical barriers and the availability of food. The movement of early humans was also facilitated by their ability to create and utilize tools, which allowed them to hunt, gather, and process food more efficiently. They developed sophisticated methods for hunting large game, such as mammoths and bison, which provided essential nutrition and materials for shelter. As they migrated, early humans formed small groups or bands, which were crucial for social bonding and cooperation. These social structures enabled them to share knowledge about their surroundings, create communal hunting strategies, and ultimately enhance their chances of survival. Additionally, the development of language played a significant role in their migration patterns. As communication improved, early humans could share information about resources, dangers, and routes, which helped them navigate and adapt to new environments. This ability to communicate also reinforced social ties within groups, making it easier for them to work together during their travels. Interestingly, the migration patterns of early humans were not only influenced by environmental factors, but also by their interactions with other species. As they spread into new territories, they encountered other hominins, such as Neanderthals and Denisovans. These encounters led to a complex web of interactions, including competition for resources, cultural exchanges, and even interbreeding, which has left a genetic legacy in modern humans today. As early humans continued to migrate, they developed distinct Neanderthal interbreeding, a fascinating topic, reveals much about our evolutionary history and the complexities of human genetics. When early modern humans migrated out of Africa, they encountered Neanderthals, who had been living in Europe and parts of Asia for thousands of years. Genetic studies show that as these two groups met, they interbred, resulting in the exchange of genetic material. This interbreeding means that, today, many people of non-African descent have about 1 to 2% of Neanderthal DNA in their genomes, a surprising discovery that has implications for our understanding of human evolution and health. What does this Neanderthal DNA do? Some of the genes inherited from Neanderthals are linked to various traits, such as skin color, hair type, and even susceptibility to certain diseases. For instance, research suggests that genes from Neanderthals may influence how our immune systems respond to pathogens, which could be an adaptive advantage. This blend of ancient genetics and modern human traits leads scientists to ponder how much of our biology has been shaped by these interactions. Moreover, the implications of Neanderthal interbreeding extend beyond genetics and into anthropology and archaeology. It challenges the notion of Neanderthals as primitive beings, showing instead that they were capable of complex interactions with anatomically modern humans. The exchange of culture and technology, such as tool-making techniques, could have been facilitated through these encounters. This interaction may have contributed to the survival and success of early modern humans as they adapted to new environments. The implications also raise questions about how we view race and human diversity today. Since all non-African populations carry some Neanderthal DNA, it blurs the lines we often draw between different groups, emphasizing that we are all part of a shared human history with intertwined fates. This genetic legacy serves as a reminder that our past is more complex than we might think, filled with encounters and exchanges that have shaped who we are. Additionally, the study of Neanderthal interbreeding opens up discussions about the future of genetic research. As scientists continue to analyze ancient genomes, they may uncover more about how the traits we have inherited affect our health and behavior. The ongoing research into Neanderthal genes could lead to new insights into diseases and even inform medical treatments, as we better understand the role of these ancient genes in modern human biology. In conclusion, Neanderthal interbreeding is not just a chapter in our evolutionary history. It is genetic variation among human populations is a fascinating topic that delves into the differences in genetic makeup across various groups of people. Humans share approximately 99.9% of their DNA, which means that the genetic differences, although small, can be quite significant in understanding our biology, health, and evolution. These variations can be attributed to several factors, including geographical separation, migration patterns, and adaptation to different environments over thousands of years. For instance, populations living in high-altitude areas, like the Andes or the Himalayas, have developed unique genetic adaptations that help them survive in low-oxygen conditions, demonstrating how human beings can evolve in response to their surroundings. Furthermore, the concept of genetic drift plays a role in this variation. Genetic drift is the change in the frequency of a gene variant in a population due to random sampling of organisms. This phenomenon is particularly evident in isolated populations, where certain traits may become more pronounced simply by chance, rather than by natural selection. An example of this is the unique genetic traits found in the Amish communities, which have developed distinct characteristics due to their relatively closed gene pool. Another contributing factor to genetic variation is the historical context of human migration. As humans migrated out of Africa, they carried different genetic traits with them, which adapted over time to the new environments they encountered. For example, skin color variation among human populations can often be traced back to the amount of sunlight in different regions. Populations in sunnier areas, like Africa, tend to have darker skin, which protects against ultraviolet radiation, while populations in areas with less sunlight, like Northern Europe, have lighter skin, which helps with vitamin D absorption in low-light conditions. Additionally, the study of human genetics has revealed interesting insights into disease susceptibility and response to medications. Certain genetic markers are more prevalent in specific populations, which can affect how individuals respond to various treatments or their risk for certain diseases. For instance, the prevalence of lactose tolerance is higher in populations with a long history of dairy consumption, demonstrating how culture and diet can influence genetic adaptation. Moreover, advances in genetic research, including genome-wide association studies, have provided a clearer picture of how these variations manifest across different populations. These studies have identified numerous genetic variants associated with various traits and conditions, allowing scientists to understand better the complexity of human health and disease. In recent years, discussions around genetic variation have also raised important questions about race and ethnicity. While genetic differences exist, the concept of race is more of a social. Agriculture has played a crucial role in shaping human evolution, transitioning our ancestors from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled agriculturalists, which fundamentally changed the way societies developed. This shift began around 10,000 years ago, during what is known as the Neolithic Revolution, when humans started to cultivate crops and domesticate animals. As people began to plant seeds, tend to crops, and raise livestock, they established permanent settlements, leading to the rise of villages and eventually cities. This newfound stability allowed populations to grow as food production became more reliable and abundant, reducing the constant struggle for survival that characterized the hunter-gatherer life. Moreover, agriculture influenced social structures, as surpluses of food enabled some individuals to take on specialized roles, leading to the development of trades, crafts, and governance. With the division of labor, not everyone was required to farm, which sparked advancements in technology, art, and culture, as people could focus on skills beyond mere survival. This specialization also paved the way for complex societies, where trade networks emerged, connecting different communities and fostering cultural exchanges that enriched human experience. Additionally, the practice of agriculture significantly impacted human biology. As diets shifted from diverse foraged foods to staple crops like wheat, rice, and corn, human health and physical traits began to evolve. Studies suggest that populations that adopted agriculture experienced changes in dental health, as certain crops were less abrasive than the natural foods they had previously consumed. Furthermore, the reliance on a limited number of crops led to nutritional deficiencies in some societies, affecting growth patterns and overall health. The domestication of animals also contributed to changes in human evolution. By raising livestock, humans gained access to not just meat, but also milk, leather, and labor, which further enhanced their quality of life. However, this close interaction with animals brought about new challenges, including the spread of zoonotic diseases, which have had lasting effects on human populations. A notable example is the transmission of pathogens from domesticated animals to humans, which has shaped immune responses over generations. Interestingly, agriculture also influenced the migration patterns of human populations. As certain regions became more productive due to farming, people migrated to these areas in search of better living conditions. This movement often resulted in the mixing of different cultures and gene pools, leading to greater genetic diversity, which has been beneficial for human adaptability. Finally, agriculture's impact on the environment cannot be overlooked. The transformation of landscapes for farming purposes led to deforestation, soil depletion. The domestication of animals, a process that began thousands of years ago, has had profound effects on human societies, economies, and ecosystems. Initially, early humans engaged in hunting and gathering, but as they began to settle, they started to domesticate certain animals, such as dogs, sheep, goats, and cattle. This shift allowed humans to benefit from the companionship and assistance of these animals, as dogs helped in hunting and herding, while livestock provided food, clothing, and labor. Over time, domestication transformed not only the animals themselves, with changes in size, temperament, and behavior, but also the landscapes in which humans lived. For instance, cattle were bred for larger bodies and docile natures, making them more suitable for farming and transportation. Sheep were selected for their wool, which led to the wool industry becoming a cornerstone of various economies. The domestication process often led to what scientists refer to as the domestication syndrome, which describes the suite of traits such as reduced flight response, changes in coloration, and altered reproductive cycles that many domesticated species exhibit. Moreover, the domestication of animals has also impacted human health and nutrition. By raising livestock, humans had a more stable food supply, which allowed populations to grow and urbanize. However, this close association with animals also led to the spread of zoonotic diseases, diseases that can jump from animals to humans, such as influenza and rabies. Furthermore, the domestication of animals played a critical role in shaping social structures and cultural practices. In many societies, certain animals became symbols of wealth and status. For example, in ancient Egypt, cattle were revered, while in many pastoral cultures, horses represented power and mobility. The relationship between humans and domesticated animals is complex, leading to both beneficial and detrimental outcomes for societies. In addition to the social and economic implications, domestication has also contributed significantly to biodiversity. The selection of certain traits in domesticated animals has altered genetic diversity, which can have long-term effects on ecosystems. Some domesticated animals, such as chickens and pigs, have become integral to food systems around the world, while others, like the silkworm, have led to entire industries based on their use. Interestingly, the process of domestication is not just confined to traditional livestock. Animals like cats have adapted to human environments, providing companionship and pest control, while also retaining many of their wild instincts. This dynamic between domesticated animals and their wild counterparts. As we delve into the rise of civilizations and cultural evolution, it's fascinating to consider how human societies have transformed over thousands of years, adapting to their environments, developing technologies, and creating complex social structures. The earliest known civilizations emerged in regions such as Mesopotamia around 3500 BCE, where the Sumerians developed one of the first writing systems, cuneiform, which enabled them to record transactions, stories, and laws, laying the groundwork for future communication and administration. This innovation was not just about keeping records. It marked a significant shift in human thought, allowing for the preservation and sharing of knowledge across generations. Simultaneously, in the Indus Valley, a sophisticated society thrived, known for its advanced urban planning, with cities like Mohenjo-Daro featuring grid layouts, sophisticated drainage systems, and public baths, reflecting a high level of social organization and concern for hygiene. Meanwhile, in ancient Egypt, the development of hieroglyphics represented another leap in communication, enabling the recording of history, religious texts, and administrative records, which were crucial for maintaining the power of the pharaohs and the complexities of state governance. As civilizations grew, so did their cultures, leading to the establishment of trade routes, like the Silk Road, which connected the East and West, facilitating not only the exchange of goods but also ideas, art, and religion. This cultural diffusion was vital in shaping societies. For example, the spread of Buddhism from India to China transformed spiritual practices and philosophies across Asia. Similarly, the Greek city-states, with their emphasis on democracy, philosophy, and the arts, laid the foundations for Western thought, influencing everything from political systems to scientific inquiry. The rise of empires, such as the Roman Empire, showcased how civilizations could expand their influence through military conquest and integration of diverse cultures. The Romans were particularly adept at incorporating the cultures of the peoples they conquered, adopting gods, customs, and even languages, which helped create a vast, multicultural empire that thrived on trade and innovation, leading to advancements in engineering, architecture, and law. As cultures evolved, so did the technologies that supported them. The invention of the wheel, for instance, revolutionized transportation and trade, while the development of agriculture allowed for surplus food production, which in turn led to population growth and the establishment of cities. This agricultural revolution was crucial, as it shifted human societies from nomadic lifestyles to settled communities, fostering the development of specialized labor and social hire. Technological innovations in ancient societies laid the groundwork for many advancements we take for granted today. Fascinatingly, these innovations emerged from the necessity to solve practical problems, and they demonstrate the ingenuity and resourcefulness of early humans. For instance, The invention of the wheel, which appeared around 3500 BCE in Mesopotamia, revolutionized transportation, enabling the movement of goods and people over greater distances, as well as facilitating trade between different cultures. Furthermore, the development of writing systems, such as cuneiform in Mesopotamia and hieroglyphics in Egypt, was crucial for record-keeping and communication, allowing societies to document events, transactions, and laws, which greatly enhanced their ability to govern and manage resources. In addition, ancient civilizations made significant strides in agriculture, with innovations like irrigation systems that allowed for the cultivation of crops in arid regions, as well as the domestication of plants and animals, which led to more stable food supplies and the growth of populations. The ancient Egyptians, for example, mastered the art of building canals and dikes to control the flooding of the Nile, turning their land into a fertile farming area. Similarly, the Chinese made remarkable advancements, such as the invention of rice cultivation techniques and the plow, which increased agricultural productivity and supported larger communities. Moreover, metallurgy was a major technological advance, as ancient societies learned to extract and manipulate metals like copper, bronze, and iron, leading to stronger tools and weapons, which transformed both daily life and warfare. The Bronze Age, which began around 3300 BCE, marked a significant shift in technology, as the combination of copper and tin produced a more durable metal, allowing for the creation of better farming implements and weaponry. The Hittites, known for their ironworking skills, played a crucial role in the spread of iron technology, which eventually replaced bronze as the dominant material for tools and weapons. In the realm of architecture, ancient societies showcased their engineering prowess through the construction of monumental structures, such as the pyramids of Egypt, which were built using advanced knowledge of mathematics and labor organization, demonstrating the ability to mobilize and maintain a large workforce. Similarly, the Romans excelled in engineering, developing aqueducts that transported water over long distances, improving public health and sanitation, and allowing cities to flourish. Furthermore, ancient innovations in medicine and healthcare were quite advanced for their time, with the Egyptians practicing surgery and using herbal remedies, while the Greeks, particularly Hippocrates, religion has played a significant role in shaping human development throughout history, influencing not just individual beliefs, but also social structures, cultural practices, and ethical frameworks. The origins of religious thought can be traced back thousands of years, with the earliest forms of spirituality arising as humans sought to understand their environment, the mysteries of life, and the afterlife. As societies evolved, so did their religious beliefs, often intertwining with the development of language, art, and governance. In many cultures, religion has served as a unifying force, bringing communities together with shared values and rituals. For instance, communal worship, festivals, and rites of passage foster a sense of belonging and identity among individuals, which can enhance social cohesion. This social aspect of religion often encourages cooperation and altruism, as many religious teachings promote compassion, charity, and helping others. Studies have shown that individuals who are actively involved in religious communities tend to have stronger social networks, which can lead to better mental health and overall well-being. Moreover, religion has had a profound impact on education and the pursuit of knowledge. In various historical contexts, religious institutions have been at the forefront of education, establishing schools and universities. For example, during the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church played a crucial role in preserving and transmitting knowledge through monasteries and cathedral schools. This commitment to education has continued in many religions, with sacred texts often being studied deeply, leading to significant advancements in philosophy, science, and the arts. The ethical teachings found in many religious traditions have also contributed significantly to human development. Concepts of justice, morality, and the importance of community service have shaped laws and social norms, influencing how individuals interact with one another. The idea of human rights, for instance, has roots in various religious teachings that emphasize the dignity and worth of every person. This moral framework has guided movements for social justice, equality, and peace throughout history, impacting legislation and social change. On the other hand, the influence of religion has not been without conflict. Throughout history, differing beliefs have led to wars, persecution, and societal divisions. Tensions between religious groups often arise from misunderstandings, intolerance, or competition for resources, impacting social stability and development. However, in many cases, these conflicts have also led to dialogue and reconciliation efforts, fostering interfaith initiatives that promote peace and understanding. Furthermore, the rise of secularism in recent centuries has led to debates about the role of religion in public life and governance. While some argue that a secular approach promotes inclusion, throughout human history, diseases have played a significant role in shaping our evolution, influencing everything from our immune systems to our social structures. One of the most striking examples of this is the impact of infectious diseases, such as smallpox, influenza, and tuberculosis, which have caused devastating pandemics throughout the ages. As humans settled into agricultural societies, the close quarters and larger populations created ideal conditions for germs to spread, leading to a constant battle between humans and pathogens. Interestingly, our bodies have developed various defenses against these diseases over generations, a process known as natural selection. For instance, the genetic mutation known as CCR5D2ER3TA332 provides resistance to HIV, a trait that likely emerged after the Black Death in the 14th century. This mutation seems to have been advantageous for those who survived the plague, as it conferred a degree of protection from certain diseases. Similarly, populations that historically faced malaria have developed a genetic trait known as sickle cell trait, which provides some resistance to the disease, albeit with potential health risks for those who inherit the full sickle cell disease. Moreover, the interaction between humans and pathogens extends beyond physical health. It also influences our cultural practices. For instance, many societies have developed rituals and customs around hygiene and health, which can be traced back to historical experiences with disease outbreaks. These practices, often overlooked, reveal how deeply intertwined our cultural evolution is with our biological responses to disease. Additionally, the rise of antibiotics in the 20th century represented a major turning point in our battle against infectious diseases. However, the emergence of antibiotic-resistant bacteria poses new challenges, pushing us to explore alternative treatments and rethink our approach to medicine. This ongoing struggle highlights the dynamic nature of our relationship with pathogens as they evolve and adapt to our medical advancements, driving us to continuously adapt in return. Furthermore, the study of ancient DNA has opened up new avenues of understanding human evolution in relation to disease. Researchers can extract DNA from bones and other remains, revealing how certain populations have adapted to diseases over thousands of years. For instance, studies of the genomes of ancient Europeans have indicated that they faced various diseases that shaped their genetic makeup, providing insights into how historical pandemics may have influenced the genetic diversity we see today. The impact of zoonotic diseases, those that jump from animals to humans also, cannot be overlooked. Many of the diseases that affect us today, such as HIV, Ebola, and even COVID-19, have origins in wildlife. As human populations encroach, the concept of race in evolutionary biology is a fascinating and complex topic, one that has evolved significantly over time. Historically, many people believed that humans could be divided into distinct races based on physical characteristics, such as skin color, hair type, and facial features. However, modern science has revealed that these differences are superficial, influenced primarily by our environment and genetics, rather than indicative of separate biological races. In fact, genetic studies have shown that all humans share approximately 99.9% of their DNA. which means that the variations we see among different populations are minimal and do not support the idea of separate races. One key aspect of this discussion is the concept of clines, which are gradual changes in traits across geographic areas rather than sharp boundaries that one might associate with race. For example, skin color tends to darken as one moves closer to the equator due to increased UV radiation, a natural adaptation. This demonstrates how environmental factors have shaped human characteristics over time, rather than the idea of distinct racial groups. Furthermore, the notion of race often carries social and political implications, which can complicate our understanding of human diversity. The social construction of race has led to significant disparities and injustices throughout history, making it essential to differentiate between race as a social concept and race as a biological one. In evolutionary biology, the focus is primarily on populations and their adaptations to specific environments, rather than on fixed racial categories. For instance, researchers examine how certain traits have evolved in response to climate, diet, and other ecological factors. This perspective highlights the fluidity of human variation, suggesting that what we often perceive as races are more accurately described as population groups that have adapted to their surroundings over millennia. The work of anthropologists and geneticists continues to challenge outdated views of race and emphasizes a more nuanced understanding of human diversity. Moreover, the concept of race has been critiqued for its potential to reinforce stereotypes and perpetuate discrimination. As we delve deeper into genetic research, we find that the idea of race does not hold up under scientific scrutiny. Instead, researchers advocate for understanding human diversity through the lens of genetics and evolutionary history, which offers a more accurate and humane perspective. This shift encourages a focus on the shared humanity of all people, rather than dividing us into arbitrary categories based on physical traits. In summary, the evolutionary biology perspective on race helps us appreciate the complexity of human diversity, emphasizing our shared ancestry and the adaptations that have shaped our species, while also acknowledging art and symbolism have played a crucial role in the development of early human societies, serving as a means of communication, expression, and cultural identity. In prehistoric times, our ancestors used cave paintings, carvings, and sculptures to convey their experiences and beliefs, creating a visual language that transcended spoken words. These early artworks, found in places like the Lascaux caves in France and the Altamira caves in Spain, depict animals, hunting scenes, and abstract symbols, suggesting a deep connection to their environment and a reflection of their daily lives. One of the fascinating aspects of early art is its symbolic nature. It often represented more than just a literal image. For instance, many scholars believe that certain animal figures in cave art were not merely representations of the animals themselves, but held spiritual or ritual significance, possibly serving as totems or symbols of fertility and abundance. This use of symbolism indicates that early humans were not only capable of artistic expression, but also possessed complex thoughts and beliefs about their existence and the world around them. Additionally, this early art can be seen as a form of storytelling, providing insights into the social structures, beliefs, and values of these ancient communities. The depiction of communal activities, such as hunting or rituals, reveals the importance of collaboration and shared experiences among early humans. These artworks acted as a way to pass down knowledge and traditions through generations, cementing a sense of identity and belonging within groups. As societies evolved, so did their artistic expressions, with symbolism becoming more sophisticated and varied. The emergence of agriculture and settled communities led to new forms of art, including pottery, textiles, and monumental architecture. The use of symbols in these artworks often reflected the changing social hierarchies and religious beliefs of the time. For example, the intricate designs found on ancient pottery not only served decorative purposes, but also carried meanings related to fertility, life cycles, and the cosmos. In ancient civilizations, such as those in Mesopotamia and Egypt, art became more formalized, with specific styles and iconography that conveyed power, divinity, and the afterlife. The use of hieroglyphics in Egypt, for instance, combined visual art with written language, showcasing how intertwined art and communication were in these societies. Furthermore, the representation of deities and pharaohs in grand sculptures and paintings illustrated the importance of religion and governance, serving both as a means of worship and a tool for propaganda. The role of art and symbolism in early humanity cannot be understated, as the cognitive revolution, which began in the mid-20th century, marked a significant shift in how we understand the mind, moving away from behaviorist views that dominated psychology towards a focus on internal mental processes, such as thinking, memory, and language. This shift was influenced by advancements in various fields, including linguistics, neuroscience, and computer science, leading to the emergence of cognitive psychology, which explores how people understand, learn, and remember information. One of the key ideas that emerged from the cognitive revolution is the concept of the mind as an information processor, similar to a computer, which means that our thoughts can be analyzed in terms of inputs, outputs, and storage. This perspective opened up new ways of understanding human consciousness, including how we form thoughts, how we become aware of our own mental states, and how our consciousness can be influenced by various factors, such as emotions and social interactions. Interestingly, researchers have explored the differences between conscious and unconscious processes, revealing that much of our mental activity occurs outside of our conscious awareness. For instance, studies have shown that people often make decisions based on subconscious cues, and that our brains can process information even when we are not actively thinking about it. This leads to fascinating questions about free will and whether our conscious decisions are truly our own, or if they are influenced by underlying unconscious processes. Additionally, the cognitive revolution has led to insights into the nature of self-awareness, suggesting that human consciousness is not just about being aware of the world around us, but also about being aware of ourselves, our thoughts, and our emotions. This self-reflective quality of consciousness is a unique aspect of the human experience, allowing us to contemplate our existence, our purpose, and even our mortality. Moreover, the cognitive revolution has prompted discussions about the role of language in shaping our thoughts. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, for example, posits that the language we speak influences the way we think and perceive the world, suggesting that different cultures may experience reality in distinct ways based on their linguistic frameworks. This idea raises intriguing questions about the universality of human consciousness. Do all humans experience consciousness in the same way, or is it shaped by cultural and linguistic differences? In addition, the study of consciousness has led to a greater understanding of disorders such as schizophrenia and depression, offering insights into how disruptions in normal cognitive processes can affect our perception of reality and our mental well-being. As scientists continue to explore the depths of human consciousness, colonialism has profoundly shaped human diversity across the globe, influencing cultures, languages, and social structures in ways that are still evident today. When European powers expanded their empires, they often imposed their own cultures and beliefs on the indigenous populations, leading to a complex interplay of cultural exchange and conflict. As colonizers moved into new territories, they brought their languages, religions, and customs, sometimes erasing or diminishing the existing traditions and practices of native people. This process created a blending of cultures, known as syncretism, where elements from different backgrounds merged to form new identities. For example, in places like Latin America, indigenous beliefs blended with Catholicism, resulting in unique religious practices that reflect both heritage and colonization. The impact on languages was significant as well. Many indigenous languages faced decline or extinction due to the dominance of colonial languages such as English, French, and Spanish. This loss not only affected communication, but also meant a loss of cultural knowledge. as languages are carriers of history, traditions, and worldview. As colonial powers established education systems, they often prioritized their own languages, contributing to a linguistic hierarchy that favored the colonizers' tongues over native languages. This has led to a situation where many communities now face the challenge of preserving their linguistic heritage in an increasingly globalized world. Moreover, colonialism also affected human diversity through the forced movement of people. The transatlantic slave trade, for instance, forcibly relocated millions of Africans to the Americas, creating diasporic communities that developed rich but distinct cultural identities, blending African traditions with those of the Americas. This forced migration had lasting effects on social structures, as it disrupted traditional family ties and community bonds, leading to new social dynamics that continue to evolve today. In addition to cultural and linguistic changes, colonialism brought about significant economic transformations. The extraction of resources and the establishment of plantations often prioritized the interests of the colonizers over the needs of local populations, leading to economic disparities that are still visible. Indigenous peoples were frequently marginalized, their access to resources limited, and their traditional livelihoods disrupted. This economic imbalance has had a long-lasting impact on social stratification within post-colonial societies, often privileging certain groups over others based on their historical connections to colonial powers. Furthermore, the legacies of colonialism also extend to issues of identity and belonging. Many nations formed during the colonial period still grapple with the complexities of their identities, as colonial borders often disregarded ethnic and cultural lines. This has resulted in tensions, and genetic engineering, a rapidly advancing field of science, involves the direct manipulation of an organism's genes using biotechnology, and it raises numerous ethical considerations that society must grapple with. Scientists can now edit genes with precision thanks to powerful tools like CRISPR-Cas9, which allow for targeted changes to DNA sequences. This technology has opened up exciting possibilities, such as the potential to eradicate genetic diseases, enhance crop resilience, and even create organisms with desirable traits. However, the ethical implications are profound and complex. One major concern revolves around the idea of playing God, where some argue that humans should not interfere with natural processes, especially when it comes to altering the genetic makeup of living beings. The potential for unintended consequences is another critical issue, as changes made to one part of an organism's DNA could have unforeseen effects on other traits, potentially leading to negative outcomes. Additionally, the concept of genetic enhancement, particularly in humans, raises significant ethical questions. For instance, if we can enhance intelligence, physical abilities, or even emotional traits, who gets access to these technologies? Will it create a divide between those who can afford genetic enhancements and those who cannot, leading to a society where inequality is exacerbated? There are also concerns about consent, especially when it comes to editing the genes of embryos or unborn children who cannot provide their own consent. This ties into the discussion about designer babies, where parents might choose specific traits for their children, leading to a slippery slope of genetic selection based on societal preferences rather than health needs. Moreover, the potential for bioweapons, where genetic engineering could be used maliciously to create harmful organisms, adds another layer of ethical concern. The prospect of creating pathogens that are resistant to treatment or designed to target specific populations raises alarms about biosecurity and the need for strict regulations. As countries and organizations develop policies surrounding genetic engineering, the balance between innovation and ethical responsibility becomes crucial. This includes considering the long-term impacts on biodiversity, as genetically modified organisms might outcompete natural species, leading to ecological imbalances. In the realm of agriculture, while genetically modified crops can lead to higher yields and resistance to pests, there are debates about their safety for human consumption and their environmental impact. The use of such technologies also brings forth questions about labeling, transparency, and consumer rights, as many people want to know what is in their food, and how it is produced. Advocacy groups often push for stricter regulations and clearer labeling, emphasizing the need for informed choices. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a rapidly evolving field that has begun to influence many aspects of our lives, but its implications for human evolution are particularly fascinating. As we integrate AI into our daily routines, from smart assistants to advanced robotics, we find ourselves at a crossroads where technology and biology intersect in unprecedented ways. Some researchers argue that AI could enhance our cognitive abilities, potentially leading to a new phase in human evolution. Imagine a future where AI tools help us solve complex problems, creating a symbiotic relationship between humans and machines. This could lead to an evolution not just in our physical form, but also in our mental capacities, as we rely on AI for data analysis, decision-making, and even creativity. Moreover, there are concerns that as AI becomes more prevalent, we might start to lose certain skills, as reliance on technology could alter the way we think and interact with the world. This raises the question of whether we are evolving in a positive direction, or if we are creating a dependency that could hinder our natural development. For instance, as we increasingly use navigation apps, our ability to navigate without digital assistance may diminish. The balance between leveraging AI for efficiency and maintaining our inherent skills is a crucial conversation in understanding how we may evolve alongside these technologies. Another interesting aspect is the ethical implications of merging AI with human biology. With advancements in biotechnology, concepts like brain-computer interfaces are becoming more tangible, allowing humans to enhance their cognitive functions directly through AI. This could lead to a future where people might have the ability to augment their memory, processing speed, or even emotional intelligence, essentially blurring the lines between human and machine. As we explore these possibilities, we must also consider the societal impact, including issues of equity and access, as not everyone may have the same opportunity to enhance their capabilities through AI. Furthermore, the rise of AI is prompting a re-evaluation of what it means to be human. As machines become better at tasks that we traditionally associate with human intelligence, such as language understanding and complex problem-solving, we are challenged to redefine our unique traits. This shift could influence not only our self-perception, but also how we interact with one another and with the world around us. As AI continues to evolve, so too might our understanding of consciousness, creativity, and even empathy, leading to profound philosophical questions about the future of our species. In addition, the environmental implications of AI development are noteworthy. As technology advances, the demand for energy and resources increases. As climate change continues to reshape our planet, the question of how humans might adapt in the future is increasingly relevant and fascinating. One area of adaptation could involve physiological changes, as humans may develop enhanced abilities to cope with rising temperatures. For instance, research suggests that, over generations, people living in particularly hot regions might develop more efficient sweat glands, allowing them to regulate body temperature more effectively. This could lead to a greater tolerance for heat, which is essential as global temperatures rise. Additionally, genetic adaptations may emerge. For example, certain populations might evolve traits that help them cope with increased humidity, enabling them to thrive in climates that are becoming more extreme. On the social front, we might witness shifts in where people choose to live, as some areas become less habitable due to extreme weather events, flooding, or droughts. Urban centers might expand to accommodate climate refugees. This could lead to the growth of megacities, which offer more resources and services, but also present challenges in terms of infrastructure and sustainability. Furthermore, we could see new forms of governance emerging, with communities implementing innovative policies to manage resources like water and energy more efficiently, fostering resilience against climate impacts. Technological advancements will play a crucial role in human adaptation to climate change. Innovations in renewable energy, such as solar and wind power, could provide sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels, reducing our carbon footprint and mitigating the effects of climate change. Smart agriculture could also emerge, utilizing data and technology to optimize food production in changing climates. This might involve developing crops that are more resilient to extreme weather, pests, and diseases, ensuring food security as conditions shift. Moreover, urban design could evolve, incorporating green spaces that help cool cities and improve air quality, while also providing habitats for biodiversity. Buildings may be constructed with materials that are more energy efficient, reducing reliance on heating and cooling systems. These adaptations would not only help manage local climates, but also contribute to overall well-being, as access to nature has been shown to benefit mental health. Culturally, societies may become more interconnected as people share knowledge and strategies for adaptation. This could lead to a greater emphasis on community resilience, where individuals work together to support one another in the face of climate challenges. Education systems might shift to focus on sustainability and environmental stewardship, preparing future generations to tackle these pressing issues with creativity and innovation. In addition to physical and social adaptations, psychological resilience will be key. As climate change leads to uncertainty and anxiety, developing coping strategies will be essential. As humanity looks to the stars, the idea of space colonization is no longer just a concept found in science fiction, but a potential reality that could significantly influence human evolution. The quest to establish human settlements beyond Earth raises fascinating questions about how living in space, on other planets or moons, would affect our biology. One intriguing aspect is the impact of reduced gravity on our bodies. On the moon, for example, where gravity is only about 1/6 that of Earth, prolonged exposure could lead to changes in muscle and bone density, as our bodies might adapt to the lighter conditions. This adaptation could result in future generations of humans who are physically different from those on Earth, potentially evolving to be more slender, with altered muscle structures. Moreover, the radiation levels in space present another challenge that could affect human evolution. Outside of Earth's protective atmosphere, cosmic radiation poses a significant risk, leading scientists to theorize that humans might develop new biological defenses over generations. These changes could include enhanced skin pigmentation or other adaptations that would help shield against radiation, allowing future populations to thrive in environments that are currently inhospitable. Additionally, the psychological effects of living in confined spaces, far from familiar comforts, could lead to significant changes in human behavior and social structures. Isolation and the challenges of survival in a harsh environment might encourage stronger communal bonds, or could lead to new forms of governance and social organization as people adapt to life on a distant planet. This shift could foster a more collaborative spirit, or conversely, create new social tensions, which would shape our society in unexpected ways. As we venture further into space, the question of genetic diversity becomes paramount. A small group of humans colonizing another planet might face the risk of inbreeding, leading to a decrease in genetic variation. To counter this, scientists might need to implement advanced reproductive technologies, such as genetic engineering, to ensure a robust gene pool. This could open up ethical debates about the extent to which we should intervene in our own evolution, as we grapple with the possibility of designing future generations to thrive in environments beyond Earth. The concept of terraforming, or altering a planet's environment to make it more Earth-like, also plays a crucial role in the discussion of space colonization. By changing a planet's atmosphere, temperature, and surface conditions, we could create habitable zones that are more conducive to human life. However, such drastic changes might not only affect the planet itself, but could also influence human evolution, as adapting to biotechnology, a field that merges biology with technology, is rapidly evolving, and its impact on our future is profound, influencing many aspects of our lives, from healthcare to agriculture, and even environmental sustainability. One of the most exciting areas is in medicine, where biotechnology is paving the way for personalized medicine, which tailors treatments to individual patients based on their genetic makeup, leading to more effective therapies with fewer side effects. As researchers develop advanced techniques, such as CRISPR, that allow for precise editing of genes, this gene editing technology holds the promise of treating genetic disorders, such as cystic fibrosis or sickle cell anemia, by correcting mutations at their source, raising ethical questions about how far we should go in altering human DNA. In agriculture, biotechnology is transforming the way we grow food, as genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are engineered to be more resilient to pests, diseases, and adverse weather conditions, which can enhance crop yields and reduce the need for chemical pesticides, thus promoting sustainable farming practices. This is particularly important as the global population continues to rise, putting pressure on food supply systems, and as climate change poses new challenges to traditional farming, which may struggle to keep up with changing weather patterns. The development of biofortified crops, which are enriched with essential nutrients, aims to combat malnutrition, particularly in developing countries where food security is a significant concern. Biotechnology also plays a crucial role in environmental conservation, with innovations such as bioremediation, where microorganisms are used to clean up contaminated environments, including oil spills or heavy metal pollution, showcasing nature's ability to restore balance through biological processes. Additionally, the production of biofuels from biomass, which can help reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, is gaining momentum as researchers explore ways to convert organic materials into energy, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and promoting a more sustainable energy future. The development of biodegradable plastics made from renewable resources further illustrates how biotechnology can create environmentally friendly alternatives to petroleum-based products, helping to address the growing issue of plastic pollution. In the realm of industrial biotechnology, enzymes and microorganisms are being harnessed to improve production processes, making them more efficient and less harmful to the environment. For instance, enzymes are used in the production of detergents, textiles, and food, enabling lower temperatures and less energy consumption, which not only cuts costs but also minimizes the carbon footprint of manufacturing. Furthermore, biotechnology is advancing the field of synthetic biology, where scientists are designing and constructing new biological. The concept of human-machine integration is a fascinating area of exploration, as it encompasses a wide range of technologies and ideas that could reshape our world and our understanding of what it means to be human. With advancements in fields like artificial intelligence, robotics, and biotechnology, the potential for humans and machines to work together in ways that were once the stuff of science fiction is becoming increasingly real. For instance, consider the development of brain-computer interfaces, which allow direct communication between the brain and external devices. Companies like Neuralink are pioneering ways to link human thoughts to computers, enabling people to control devices simply by thinking about them. This could revolutionize the way we interact with technology, making it more intuitive and accessible, especially for individuals with disabilities. Moreover, the integration of smart prosthetics is another exciting aspect of this field. These advanced prosthetic limbs can be connected to the nervous system, allowing users to move them more naturally, as if they were their own limbs. This not only improves the quality of life for amputees, but also challenges our perceptions of body and identity. Transitioning from physical integration, we also see the potential for emotional and cognitive integration, as virtual reality and augmented reality technologies create immersive experiences that blend the digital and physical worlds. Imagine attending a concert where you can feel the vibrations of the music, or participating in a virtual meeting that feels as real as being in the same room. Such experiences can enhance our emotional connections and expand our social interactions. As we delve deeper into artificial intelligence, we see the possibility of machines not just performing tasks, but also assisting in decision-making processes. AI can analyze vast amounts of data, providing insights that humans might overlook, thus enabling more informed choices in various fields, from healthcare to finance. However, this raises important questions about trust, ethics, and the role of human judgment in a world increasingly influenced by machines. The integration of machines into our daily lives can also be seen in smart home technology, where devices learn our habits and preferences, making our lives more convenient. These systems can adjust lighting, temperature, and even security features based on our routines, creating a seamless living experience. But with this convenience comes the responsibility of managing privacy and security, as interconnected devices can be vulnerable to hacking and misuse. As we explore the potential for human-machine integration, we must also consider the implications for employment and the economy. Automation and AI could lead to job displacement in certain sectors, while simultaneously creating new opportunities in emerging fields. This duel, as we delve into the evolution of social behavior in the digital age, it's fascinating to observe how technology has reshaped the way we interact, communicate, and form relationships. With the advent of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, people have found new ways to connect, share experiences, and express their thoughts, leading to a significant shift in social dynamics. One of the most notable changes is the speed at which information spreads. News, trends, and personal stories can go viral within minutes, creating a global conversation that transcends geographical boundaries. This instant connectivity has fostered a sense of community among individuals who might never have met otherwise, allowing for the formation of online friendships and support networks that can be incredibly enriching. However, this rapid exchange of information also comes with challenges. The pressure to maintain a certain image online, often referred to as social media anxiety, can lead to feelings of inadequacy and loneliness, despite the illusion of connection. Many users curate their lives to present a polished version of themselves, which can create unrealistic expectations for others and contribute to a cycle of comparison. Additionally, the rise of digital communication has led to a decline in face-to-face interactions, as people may prefer texting or messaging over in-person conversations. This shift can impact social skills and emotional intelligence, as nonverbal cues and the nuances of physical presence are often lost in digital communication. Moreover, the digital age has given rise to new forms of social behavior, such as online activism and digital communities that rally around various causes. Movements like Me Too and Black Lives Matter have utilized social media to mobilize support, raise awareness, and drive social change, showing the power of collective action in the digital realm. These movements highlight how technology can amplify voices that were previously marginalized, creating a platform for dialogue and advocacy that can lead to real-world impact. On the flip side, the digital landscape also harbors darker aspects, such as cyberbullying and the spread of misinformation. The anonymity that the internet provides can embolden individuals to engage in harmful behaviors that they might avoid in real life. This has sparked discussions about the responsibility of social media companies to regulate content and protect users from harm. As we navigate this complex digital ecosystem, understanding the implications of our online behavior becomes crucial in fostering a healthier social environment. In terms of personal relationships, the digital age has transformed dating and friendships. Apps like Tinder and Bumble have revolutionized the way people meet and connect romantically, allowing individuals to. Posthumanism is a fascinating and complex philosophical movement that challenges the traditional ideas of what it means to be human. It explores the implications of advanced technology, genetic engineering, and artificial intelligence, prompting us to rethink our identity, our place in the world, and our relationship with other forms of life. At its core, posthumanism suggests that humanity can transcend its biological limitations, leading to a future where humans may merge with machines or evolve into entirely new forms of existence. This idea is not merely science fiction. It has roots in various disciplines, including philosophy, literature, and the sciences. where scholars and thinkers examine the potential consequences of these radical changes. One of the key concepts within posthumanism is the rejection of anthropocentrism, which is the belief that humans are the most important beings in the universe. Instead, posthumanism advocates for a more inclusive view, recognizing the value and agency of non-human entities, whether they are animals, ecosystems, or even artificial intelligences. This shift in perspective encourages us to consider ethical questions about our responsibilities towards other beings and the environment, as we navigate a world increasingly shaped by technology. In literature, posthuman themes often manifest in speculative fiction, where authors envision futures that blur the lines between human and machine, life and artificiality. Works like Neuromancer by William Gibson and The Matrix delve into the implications of living in a digital age, where consciousness can be uploaded, bodies can be modified, and the very fabric of reality can be questioned. These narratives serve not only as entertainment, but also as thought experiments, challenging readers to consider the moral, social, and philosophical ramifications of such advancements. Moreover, posthumanism intersects with discussions about transhumanism, a related movement that advocates for the enhancement of the human condition through technology. While transhumanism focuses on improving human capabilities, posthumanism opens up broader discussions about what it means to be human in a world where boundaries between species and machines are increasingly blurred. This leads to questions about identity, agency, and the nature of consciousness itself. As artificial intelligence continues to develop, the implications for posthuman thought become even more profound. We are beginning to see AI systems that can learn, adapt, and even create, prompting debates about the nature of intelligence and the potential for machines to possess rights or moral consideration. This raises questions about the future of work, creativity, and the very definition of what it means to be intelligent. As we navigate a landscape, the ethical implications of genetic modification, a topic that has sparked numerous debates, touch on various aspects of science, society, and individual rights. One of the primary concerns revolves around the idea of playing God. Many people worry that by altering the genetic makeup of organisms, including humans, we might overstep moral boundaries that should not be crossed. This fear often stems from religious beliefs, which hold that life should unfold naturally, without human interference. On the other hand, proponents argue that genetic modification offers significant potential benefits, such as eradicating genetic diseases and improving food security, which cannot be ignored. Furthermore, the concept of consent becomes particularly complex when discussing genetic modification in humans. For instance, if parents choose to modify the genes of their unborn children, can we say that the children themselves have given consent? This raises important questions about autonomy and the rights of the individual versus the desires of the parents. Additionally, there are concerns about equity and access. If genetic modification technologies become widely available, will they be accessible to everyone? Or will they create a divide between those who can afford such enhancements and those who cannot? This potential for inequality raises significant ethical questions about social justice and the implications of creating a genetically modified elite. Moreover, the environmental impact of genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, is a crucial area of concern. While genetic modification can lead to crops that are more resistant to pests and diseases, thereby reducing the need for chemical pesticides, there are fears about the long-term effects on ecosystems. For example, if a genetically modified crop crossbreeds with a wild relative, it could introduce traits that disrupt local ecosystems. These ecological risks, often difficult to predict, add another layer of ethical consideration, as we must weigh the short-term benefits of increased agricultural productivity against potential long-term environmental harm. Another ethical issue is the concept of designer babies. With advances in gene editing technologies like CRISPR, the possibility of selecting traits for children, such as intelligence or physical appearance, is no longer a distant future, but a reality we must confront. This leads to discussions about what it means to be human and the societal pressures that might arise from such practices. If certain traits are deemed more desirable, could this result in new forms of discrimination or societal stratification based on genetic characteristics? The implications for identity and self-worth are profound, raising questions about how we value individuals and what it means to be normal. In addition to these philosophical and societal concerns, there are regulatory and safety issues. As we look to the future of human reproduction, we encounter a landscape shaped by rapid advancements in science and technology, which promise to transform how we understand and approach the process of creating life. One of the most exciting developments is in the field of genetic editing, particularly with techniques like CRISPR. This groundbreaking technology allows scientists to make precise modifications to DNA, opening the door to potentially eliminating genetic disorders before a child is even conceived. Imagine a future where parents could screen embryos for various genetic conditions, ensuring that their children are born with a lower risk of inheriting serious illnesses. This could revolutionize our approach to health and longevity. Additionally, we are witnessing significant advancements in reproductive technologies, such as in vitro fertilization or IVF, which continues to evolve. Techniques like pre-implantation genetic testing are becoming more refined, allowing doctors to select the most viable embryos for implantation, thereby increasing the success rates of IVF. This not only provides hope for couples struggling with infertility, but also gives them more control over the traits of their future children, leading to ethical discussions about the implications of designer babies. Moreover, the concept of artificial wombs, which once seemed like science fiction, is edging closer to reality. Researchers are making strides in developing biobags that can support the growth of premature infants, which could significantly increase survival rates for those born very early. This technology could eventually lead to the possibility of gestating embryos outside the human body, fundamentally altering the traditional experience of pregnancy and childbirth, and raising questions about the implications for parental bonding and the nature of motherhood. Another fascinating area is the exploration of alternative reproductive methods, such as cloning. While cloning has typically been associated with animals, research in this area is ongoing, with scientists investigating its potential in humans. Although ethical concerns and technical challenges remain, the idea of cloning could provide options for couples who are unable to conceive naturally. Furthermore, the future of human reproduction may also embrace advancements in fertility preservation. Techniques like egg freezing have already gained popularity, allowing women to store their eggs for later use, thereby providing them with greater flexibility regarding their reproductive choices. As technology continues to improve, we may see even more effective methods for preserving fertility, giving individuals and couples more options for when and how they start families. In parallel, societal attitudes toward reproduction are evolving, as we see a growing acceptance of diverse family structures. With advancements in reproductive technology, single individuals, same-sex couples, and older parents are increasingly able to have children. Globalization, a phenomenon that has connected people, cultures, and economies across the globe, has had profound impacts on many aspects of life, including human evolution. As societies become more interconnected through trade, technology, and communication, the way humans interact, live, and adapt has changed significantly. One of the most notable impacts of globalization on human evolution is the blending of diverse cultures, which has led to increased genetic diversity. As people from different backgrounds come together, the mixing of genes can result in new traits being passed on to future generations, enhancing adaptability to various environments and challenges. This genetic exchange can lead to a broader range of physical and cognitive traits, which may help populations better cope with changing climates, diseases, and nutritional needs. Moreover, globalization has facilitated the spread of ideas and technologies that influence human behavior and health. The introduction of new agricultural practices, for instance, has transformed diets worldwide, which in turn impacts human biology. As diets become more varied and include processed foods, the human body may adapt in unexpected ways, such as changes in metabolism or digestive capabilities. Additionally, as urbanization increases due to globalization, lifestyles shift from rural to more sedentary living, which can lead to health issues like obesity and cardiovascular diseases, forcing humans to evolve in response to these new health challenges. Another significant aspect of globalization's impact on human evolution is the rise of global health issues. The rapid movement of people and goods can lead to the swift spread of diseases, prompting populations to develop new immunities. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted how quickly viruses can spread across borders, leading to a collective response that includes vaccination efforts and public health initiatives. This scenario showcases how globalization can accelerate the evolutionary pressures on human immune systems as populations adapt to new pathogens. Furthermore, globalization affects social structures and relationships, which can influence human psychological evolution. As people increasingly interact with diverse groups, there is a shift in social norms and values, promoting cooperation and empathy across cultures. This interconnectivity can foster a greater sense of global citizenship, where individuals feel a responsibility toward not just their immediate communities, but also toward humanity as a whole. Such changes in social dynamics can lead to the evolution of more complex social behaviors and emotional intelligence. In terms of environmental impact, globalization has also accelerated climate change, which poses new challenges for human survival and adaptation. As temperatures rise and weather patterns shift, humans are forced to adapt to new environmental realities, whether through migration, changes in agricultural practices, or technological. Human longevity, the ability to live longer lives, has fascinated scientists, researchers, and the public for centuries. As advancements in medicine, nutrition, and technology continue to push the boundaries of lifespan, with some individuals now living well into their 90s and beyond. But this increase in longevity brings with it a complex set of consequences that affect not only individuals, but also societies as a whole. One major consequence of increased human longevity is the shifting demographics. As populations age, the proportion of elderly individuals rises, leading to a greater demand for healthcare services, social support systems, and retirement funding. This trend can place significant strain on healthcare systems, especially in countries with aging populations, where the ratio of working-age individuals to retirees diminishes, creating potential economic challenges. Moreover, as people live longer, the importance of maintaining quality of life becomes paramount. Extended lifespans can lead to an increased incidence of chronic illnesses, such as heart disease, diabetes, and dementia, making it crucial to focus not only on adding years to life, but also on ensuring those years are healthy and fulfilling. Researchers are now exploring ways to promote healthy aging, which includes regular physical activity, balanced nutrition, and mental stimulation, as well as social engagement, all of which contribute to a better quality of life in older age. Another interesting aspect of human longevity is its impact on family structures. As grandparents live longer, they often play an active role in their grandchildren's lives, providing emotional and practical support. This intergenerational connection can strengthen family bonds, but can also lead to challenges, such as caregiving responsibilities falling on younger generations. Balancing work and family life becomes more complex, as the needs of both aging parents and children must be addressed simultaneously. Culturally, the perception of aging is also evolving. Societies that once revered youth are starting to recognize the wisdom and experience that come with age. This shift can lead to greater respect for older individuals and their contributions. Yet, it can also bring about ageism, where stereotypes and discrimination based on age persist, highlighting the need for education and awareness around the value of older adults in our communities. On a global scale, the implications of increased longevity can affect economic policies, labor markets, and immigration patterns. As countries grapple with the challenge of supporting an aging population, some nations may seek to increase the retirement age, encourage lifelong learning, and adapt workplaces to be more inclusive of older workers, while others might look to attract younger immigrants to balance the demographic scales. Lastly, cultural evolution is a fascinating topic, especially in our rapidly changing world, where technology, globalization, and social movements are reshaping our societies at an unprecedented pace. As cultures interact more than ever, we see a blending of traditions, languages, and customs, creating what some scholars refer to as a global culture. This phenomenon is particularly evident in urban areas, where diverse populations coexist, bringing their unique backgrounds and perspectives. For instance, in cities like New York or London, cultural festivals celebrate a variety of heritages, showcasing food, art, and music from around the globe. As we embrace these changes, it's important to consider how cultural evolution affects identity. People often find themselves at a crossroads, balancing their traditional values with new influences. This dynamic can lead to what is known as cultural hybridity, where individuals and communities adopt elements from multiple cultures to create their unique identities. A prime example of this is seen in cuisine, where traditional recipes are adapted with local ingredients or fused with other culinary traditions, leading to innovative dishes that reflect a melting pot of influences. In addition, the role of technology cannot be understated in this cultural evolution. Social media platforms, for example, have revolutionized how we share and consume culture. They allow for the rapid spread of ideas and trends, transcending geographical boundaries. A viral dance challenge on TikTok can inspire similar movements worldwide, often leading to cross-cultural interpretations that differ from the original. This digital interconnectedness means that cultural practices can evolve and adapt in real time, influenced by the immediate feedback from a global audience. Moreover, language itself is undergoing significant change, as globalization encourages the blending of languages and the creation of new forms of communication, such as Spanglish or Hinglish, which combine elements from English and other languages. This linguistic evolution reflects deeper social changes and can lead to greater inclusivity, as individuals find new ways to express themselves that resonate with their experiences. However, this rapid cultural evolution also raises questions about cultural preservation. As dominant cultures spread, there is a concern that smaller, indigenous cultures may become overshadowed or even disappear. Efforts are being made worldwide to document and revitalize these traditions, emphasizing the importance of cultural heritage. Initiatives like language preservation programs and the promotion of traditional arts aim to keep these unique identities alive amid the changing landscape. On another note, cultural evolution also intersects with social movements, as issues of equity, representation, and justice gain prominence. Movements advocating for LGBTQ+1 rights, racial, parenting plays a crucial role in shaping future generations, influencing not only individual behaviors and values, but also the overall direction of society. The way parents interact with their children, the lessons they teach, and the environment they create can have lasting effects on their children's emotional and social development. For instance, children who grow up in supportive and nurturing homes tend to develop higher self-esteem and better emotional regulation skills. This, in turn, can lead to healthier relationships and a greater ability to cope with stress as they grow older. Furthermore, the parenting styles adopted can vary significantly across cultures, and these variations can impact children's perspectives on authority, community, and individualism. Research suggests that authoritative parenting, characterized by warmth and structure, often results in children who are more socially competent and academically successful. On the other hand, neglectful or overly authoritarian styles can lead to issues such as anxiety, depression, and difficulties in social interactions. This indicates that the balance between nurturing and discipline is essential in fostering well-rounded individuals. Additionally, As societal norms and technologies evolve, the way parents engage with their children is also changing. The rise of digital technology has introduced new challenges and opportunities for parenting, as parents must navigate issues like screen time, online safety, and the impact of social media on their children's self-image. Moreover, the presence of both parents, or the lack thereof, can significantly influence a child's development. Studies have shown that children raised in single-parent households may face unique challenges, but they can also develop resilience and adaptability. The community and support systems surrounding parenting, such as extended family, friends, and school, also play a critical role in shaping children's experiences. When parents foster a strong sense of community, children learn the importance of collaboration, empathy, and support, which are essential skills for their future. In today's fast-paced world, parents are often faced with the challenge of balancing work and family life, which can affect the quality of time spent with their children. This makes it even more important for parents to be intentional about how they engage with their children during the time they do have together. Quality time, filled with meaningful conversations and shared activities, can strengthen the parent-child bond and promote positive development. Furthermore, the values that parents instill in their children can ripple through generations. When parents prioritize education, kindness, and respect, they not only prepare their children for personal success, but they also contribute to a more compassionate and educated society. Encouraging critical thinking, cultural awareness, and social, virtual reality, often abbreviated as VR, is a technology that immerses users in a computer-generated environment, allowing them to interact with 3D worlds in a way that feels quite real. One of the most fascinating aspects of virtual reality is how it affects human interaction. When people engage in VR, they often find themselves in shared spaces with others, even if those others are not physically present. This can lead to unique social experiences, as avatars represent users in the virtual world, offering a new way to communicate and collaborate. In VR, the absence of physical presence can sometimes break down barriers that exist in the real world. For example, individuals who may be shy or anxious in face-to-face situations often find it easier to express themselves in virtual environments, where the pressure of physical cues and body language is diminished. This can result in deeper conversations and connections, as users feel freer to share their thoughts and feelings without the constraints of traditional social norms. Moreover, VR allows for the simulation of situations that may be difficult to experience in real life. For instance, people can engage in role-playing scenarios, where they can practice skills such as negotiation or conflict resolution, all within a safe and controlled setting. This type of interaction can enhance empathy, as users embody different perspectives and experiences, leading to a better understanding of others' emotions and viewpoints. However, there are also challenges that come with virtual reality and human interaction. The sense of isolation can be heightened for some, as the immersive nature of VR can create a disconnect from the real world. While users may interact with avatars, the lack of genuine human touch and physical presence can sometimes lead to feelings of loneliness or alienation. Additionally, there's the risk of miscommunication, as nonverbal cues, which are vital in face-to-face communication, might be lost or misinterpreted in a virtual space. Research has shown that the impact of VR on relationships can vary significantly. Some studies suggest that experiences shared in VR can enhance relationships, as people bond over shared adventures and challenges, creating lasting memories. Yet, others indicate that excessive use of VR might lead to a preference for virtual interactions over real-life connections, potentially impacting one's social skills and emotional health. In educational settings, VR has the power to transform how students collaborate and learn together. Virtual classrooms can simulate real-world experiences, allowing students to work on projects from anywhere in the world, collaborating in ways that break traditional geographical limitations. This not only enhances learning outcomes, but empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, has undergone significant evolution in modern society. influenced by various factors such as technological advancements, cultural shifts, and changes in social dynamics. In the early stages of human development, empathy was largely a survival mechanism, helping early humans form bonds within their communities, which was essential for cooperation and mutual support in facing environmental challenges. As societies became more complex, the concept of empathy expanded beyond mere survival, becoming a vital component of social interactions and fostering deeper connections among individuals. In recent decades, the rise of digital technology has dramatically transformed how we express and experience empathy. With the advent of social media, people can now share their stories and emotions with a global audience, allowing for a broader understanding of diverse experiences, which, in turn, can enhance empathy. However, this digital age has also brought challenges. While online interactions can foster connections, they can also lead to a sense of detachment, as some individuals may struggle to relate to others behind a screen. This paradox highlights the need for a balance. While technology can enhance our ability to empathize, it can also create barriers if not used mindfully. Moreover, cultural changes have played a crucial role in shaping empathy in modern society. Movements advocating for social justice, equality, and mental health awareness have encouraged people to listen to and understand experiences different from their own. This shift towards inclusivity has fostered a greater sense of collective empathy, as individuals are increasingly recognizing the importance of acknowledging and valuing diverse perspectives. Educational systems have also begun to incorporate social-emotional learning, teaching children the importance of empathy and understanding from a young age, which can lead to more compassionate adults. Additionally, research in psychology has shed light on the neurological basis of empathy, revealing that it is not just a social construct, but also rooted in our biology. Studies show that our brains are wired to respond to the emotions of others, activating mirror neurons that help us resonate with other people's feelings, which can manifest in physical reactions, such as feeling joy when someone else is happy, or sadness when they are in pain. This biological perspective on empathy underscores its significance in human interactions and relationships. At the same time, the increasing awareness of mental health issues has highlighted the importance of empathy in supporting those who are struggling. Understanding mental health challenges requires a deep sense of empathy, as individuals often face stigma and isolation. By fostering an empathetic environment, societies can create spaces where individuals feel safe to share. Emerging technologies have a profound influence on our sense of identity, shaping how we perceive ourselves and how we interact with the world around us. One of the most notable examples is the rise of social media platforms, which allow individuals to curate their online personas, presenting a version of themselves that may differ from their real-life identities. This curation can lead to a phenomenon known as social comparison, where people evaluate their own worth based on the lives and achievements of others they see online. This can boost self-esteem for some, while, for others, it may lead to feelings of inadequacy or anxiety, revealing how technology can influence our mental health and self-image. Moreover, the advent of virtual reality and augmented reality technologies has created entirely new environments for self-exploration and expression. In virtual spaces, users can design avatars that reflect how they wish to be seen, whether that means adopting a completely different appearance or embodying traits they admire. This ability to transform oneself in digital spaces can be liberating, allowing people to explore aspects of their identity they might not feel comfortable expressing in real life. However, it also raises questions about authenticity and the ways in which we present ourselves, as individuals navigate the fine line between their true selves and their digital personas. In addition to social media and virtual environments, artificial intelligence is increasingly playing a role in shaping identity. AI algorithms analyze our behaviors, preferences, and interactions, creating personalized experiences that can influence our choices and, by extension, our identities. For instance, recommendation systems on streaming services or e-commerce websites suggest content and products based on our past behavior, subtly guiding us towards certain interests and lifestyles. As we engage with these technologies, they not only reflect our identities, but also help to mold them, leading to a dynamic interplay between technology and self-perception. Furthermore, the integration of wearable technology into our daily lives has begun to affect how we view our health and physical identity. Devices that track fitness, monitor health metrics, and provide feedback can empower individuals to take control of their well-being, allowing them to set and achieve personal health goals. This shift towards a more health-conscious identity can be positive, promoting an active lifestyle and encouraging mindfulness. However, it can also lead to an overemphasis on physical appearance and health metrics, potentially fostering unhealthy obsessions with data and performance. The concept of digital identity also extends to how we engage with privacy and data security. As our personal information becomes more intertwined with technology, our digital footprints grow larger. The potential decline of biological diversity, or biodiversity, is a pressing concern for scientists and environmentalists alike, as it impacts ecosystems, human health, and the overall balance of our planet. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life on Earth, including the diversity of species, ecosystems, and genetic variation within species. This variety is crucial because it helps ecosystems function properly, provides resilience against environmental changes, and supports services that humans rely on, such as clean air, water, and food. However, recent studies show alarming trends that indicate a significant loss of species and habitats, driven by human activities such as habitat destruction, pollution, climate change, and overexploitation of resources. For instance, the World Wildlife Fund's Living Planet report indicates that populations of mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians have declined by an average of 68% since 1970, which highlights the urgency of addressing this issue. One major factor contributing to the decline of biodiversity is deforestation, particularly in tropical regions, where rich ecosystems are being cleared for agriculture and development. This loss not only displaces countless species, but it also disrupts the intricate web of life that sustains these ecosystems. Additionally, pollution from industrial and agricultural activities contaminates air, soil, and water, leading to toxic environments for both wildlife and humans. Climate change exacerbates these problems by altering habitats and shifting species distributions, making it difficult for many organisms to adapt or migrate to suitable areas. As temperatures rise and weather patterns change, certain species may face extinction, particularly those that are already vulnerable or have limited ranges. Moreover, invasive species pose another significant threat, as they can outcompete native species for resources, introduce diseases, and disrupt local ecosystems. These invaders often thrive in environments where natural predators are absent, leading to declines in native biodiversity. For example, the introduction of the zebra mussel to North American lakes has had devastating effects on local aquatic life, demonstrating how one species can dramatically alter an ecosystem. Conservation efforts are essential to mitigate these declines, and they include the establishment of protected areas, restoration of degraded habitats, and sustainable management of natural resources. Education and awareness programs also play a vital role in empowering communities to participate in conservation initiatives. By understanding the importance of biodiversity, individuals can make informed choices that support sustainable practices, such as reducing waste, opting for sustainable food sources, and advocating for policies that protect natural habitats. Furthermore, the interconnectedness of species means that the loss of, as we venture deeper into the 21st century, the intersection of technology and human rights is becoming increasingly significant, raising questions about how advancements impact our fundamental freedoms. The future of human rights in a technological age is not merely a speculation, but a pressing concern that demands our attention. With the rise of artificial intelligence, big data, and surveillance technologies, we are witnessing both opportunities and challenges that can reshape our understanding of rights and freedoms. For instance, while technology can enhance access to information, enabling individuals to express themselves freely and mobilize for social change, it can also be used to infringe upon personal privacy, with governments and corporations potentially monitoring our every move. The balance between security and liberty is becoming more precarious, as the capabilities of technology allow for unprecedented levels of surveillance. Moreover, emerging technologies like facial recognition and predictive policing have sparked debates about bias and discrimination, particularly against marginalized communities. These tools often rely on data that can reflect historical inequalities, leading to outcomes that may perpetuate injustices rather than alleviate them. A critical question arises: how do we ensure that technological advancements promote equity and do not exacerbate existing human rights violations? The role of international law in this context is vital, as it can provide a framework for protecting individuals from abuses that arise from the misuse of technology. Efforts are being made to develop guidelines and regulations that address the implications of emerging technologies, but the challenge remains in enforcing these standards globally, given the varying degrees of commitment to human rights across different nations. In addition to the concerns around privacy and discrimination, the digital divide presents another significant issue for the future of human rights. As technology becomes an integral part of daily life, access to the internet and digital literacy becomes essential for exercising rights such as freedom of expression and access to information. Without equitable access, a significant portion of the population may be left behind, unable to participate in the digital economy or engage in civic activities. The question then is, how can we ensure that everyone, regardless of socioeconomic status, has the opportunity to benefit from technological advancements? Furthermore, the role of social media in this landscape cannot be overlooked. Platforms that allow for mass communication have transformed how we engage with one another, enabling voices that were previously marginalized to be heard. However, these platforms also face criticism for their handling of misinformation, hate speech, and the spread of harmful content. The challenge lies in finding a balance between protecting free speech and preventing harm, all while considering the impact of algorithms that dictate. As we delve into the ultimate fate of humanity, we find ourselves at the crossroads of science, philosophy, and imagination, where countless theories and speculations emerge, each offering a unique perspective on what the future may hold. Some scientists propose that humanity could eventually face extinction due to catastrophic events, like nuclear war, climate change, or pandemics, which could drastically alter our way of life, or even bring it to an end. Others envision a future where humans evolve, adapting to new challenges, perhaps integrating with technology in ways that blur the lines between human and machine, leading to a new species altogether. This idea of transhumanism, where technology enhances human capabilities, raises questions about identity, ethics, and what it means to be truly human. Meanwhile, there are those who believe that humanity will embark on a journey beyond Earth, colonizing other planets and moons within our solar system, and possibly even venturing to distant star systems, driven by the innate desire to explore and survive. The concept of terraforming, or altering environments to make them habitable, fuels the imagination as we consider the possibility of turning places like Mars into new homes for future generations. However, the logistics of such grand endeavors are daunting, requiring advancements in technology, sustainable living practices, and international cooperation. Philosophically, some thinkers ponder whether humanity's ultimate fate lies in achieving a peaceful coexistence, where societies unite to address the pressing issues of our time, fostering a global culture of understanding and collaboration. This optimistic view suggests that, as we become more aware of our shared humanity, we can collectively tackle problems like poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation, paving the way for a brighter future. Yet, skepticism exists, as history often shows us the challenges of unity in the face of adversity, raising questions about whether we can truly overcome our differences. On the other hand, there are darker speculations, like the idea that humanity may simply fade away, not in a dramatic fashion, but through gradual decline, as birth rates fall and societies become increasingly isolated, leading to a slow but inevitable end. This could result in a world where the remnants of human civilization are left behind, mere echoes of what once was, as nature reclaims its territory. Furthermore, some futurists speculate about the role of artificial intelligence in shaping the fate of humanity, questioning whether AI will become our greatest ally or a formidable rival. If AI continues to develop at an exponential rate, it could surpass human intelligence